That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, a while ago, they announced a new Spider-Man animated series was coming to Disney Plus. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is what it was going to be called. Now, initially, there was talk that Tom Holland was going to be doing the voice of it, and that this Spider-Man animated series was going to fit in the MCU. Apparently, neither of those were true, because we found out a while ago that somebody else is voicing Peter Parker, and it's not Tom Holland. And according to a new trailer that just dropped, it also doesn't look like it actually takes place in the... It takes place in a world where the Marvel characters exist.
Right.
But it doesn't look like it's our MCU that we know. But again, we'll have to see the show to know that for sure. Anyway, the first trailer dropped. And I know there have been a lot of people very, very curious about this trailer. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a terrible... First of all, I understand. Now, listen, I'm saying this as an MCU fan. Everybody knows I'm an MCU fan. I don't like everything the MCU does, but everybody knows I'm an MCU fan. But let's start with this. I understand the modern trend with animation on TV is to do as cheap as possible, right? Like, as much as I love Harley Quinn, love that show, it's not exactly cutting edge, highest of quality animation. As much as I like Invincible, there's nobody making any arguments that it is the highest quality of animation. So I get it, right? You want to make these shows cost effective. You don't want to do cutting edge animation. I get that. That's fine. But this, remember I talked about that old Canadian cartoon show, Rocket Robin Hood?
Yeah.
This looked like that.
But I feel like this is trying to be an homage to that 60s thing. That's why I'm okay with it.
See, I've never bought the argument that's what it was trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never bought into that logic. Well, it was trying to do that. I don't care if that's what you're trying to do. It looks cheap. It looks ridiculous. Now, I get it. They're going for that old comic book style. Because you look at that image, that looks like a straight up 1960s panel from a comic book.
Yeah, like a Steve Ditko or whatever.
And I get that. I get the intention of it. But the results are still the results. And I was looking at this and I'm like, this doesn't look like a multi-billion-dollar company produced this. This looks cheap. Now, remember, I'm only talking about the animation style right now, okay? That's all I'm talking about. But it just looked really, really cheap. It, like, somebody just made a good point. Brandon Coast in live chat. It looks like Archer. That's exactly... The animation style looks like Archer.
Yeah.
Which I love Archer, but it also looks very cheap. It's not the highest end of animation.
Well, how did you feel about the X-Men 97, that animation?
It's difficult to judge because it looked just like it was supposed to be a continuation of the X-Men 97 of the X-Men original show, so they maintained the aesthetic. Right. Again, they clearly did not use cutting edge. They did not spare no expense for the animation of that show, but it is literally the sequel of that series, and it looks just like series, so it didn't jump out at me as much.
All right.
This being a brand new show, I just, for some reason, the animation style really jumped. I was expecting better. Now, I say that as somebody who has not watched the show yet. And maybe, this has happened before, maybe once I watch the show, I'll go, you know what? This style fits the show perfectly. I'm not saying I will. I'm not saying I won't. I'm just saying my first impression of looking at the trailer is that the animation looks very, very budget. Very Walmart animation. John, can you do any better? No, but I'm not an animator. I'm not the standard of excellence, am I? Anyway, let's move beyond the look of it. And there's nothing wrong with this. I feel like this is a show that's made for 12-year-olds. And I don't necessarily mean that in a negative light. There's nothing wrong with having shows that are targeted at a younger audience. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That's great. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. Are you guys like me, both a movie and a sports fan? Well, if so, then you know that the playoffs are here and it's now or never. If you love football and want to add some real excitement to the games, let me tell you about PrizePicks, the best place for your daily fantasy sports. So here's how it works. It's super simple. You just pick more or less on player projections. Think Patrick Mahomes will throw more than 1.5 touchdowns this week, or maybe Lamar Jackson will get over 250 passing yards. Make your picks in less than a minute and take your shot at winning up to 1,000 times your cash. Ann and I have been having a blast using PrizePicks every weekend. It's simple, it's fun, and it just makes watching the games that much more exciting. Plus, PrizePicks puts you first. With easy, fast, secure withdrawals, you can get your winnings in as little as 15 minutes, and they make deposits even easier. And right now, if you sign up today, you get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So don't wait. Download the app today and use the code Campea to get $50 instantly after playing your first $5 lineup. That's right. Play for just $5 and you get a $50 bonus instantly. PrizePicks. Run your game. I just was kind of thinking that Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, was going to be more likened unto an X-Men 97 that, deals with very mature stuff. And it like a little heavier kind of stuff. And this to me looked like a 12-year-old's, they were literally targeting 12-year-olds. And if that's what they're going for and they're trying to give some content, because listen, almost all MCU stuff is targeted at a wide audience. It's targeted at adults, it's targeted at parents, it's targeted at teens. I mean, it's got a very wide net. There's nothing wrong if Marvel wants to say, you know what, we're going to make something specifically targeted at a certain demographic and age group. That's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what I was expecting, I gotta say. And I don't know, again, maybe once I see the show, maybe I'll feel differently about it. But I gotta say, for me, I was very underwhelmed with this trailer. And that's okay. We've all seen bad trailers end up having great movies or great TV shows, and we've all seen great trailers lead to bad movies and bad TV shows. But I gotta say, I did not like the trailer. But Jonathan, you didn't mind this one.
I gotta say, the aesthetic when we first saw shots of this months ago, like images, I was like, this looks like they're trying to lean too heavy into like literally 1962 Marvel animation style.
Right.
But when I saw this trailer, I realized, okay, actually, it's a little punched up. They're having like an homage to it, but then it has some. I mean, if you really watch it, it's got some cutty stuff. It looks like it's got some engaging animation, almost like Spider-Verse. Now, not on that level of quality and detail, but I just mean
Stylistically?
the stylistic and the way you're throwing edits, like swooping across screen and multi-angles and stuff like that. I think it'll be pretty engaging. Now, whether its demographic is for younger kids, it may be. I may end up watching 1 or 2 episodes and being like, okay, I get where they're going for this, but I don't want to spend my time, even 20 minutes per episode doing it.
I'm not the audience.
I'm not the audience. But I am not as turned off by it as you were. Actually, I was more turned off when I saw months ago the still images we got, and now I actually like it a little more.
Now that you see it in context?
I actually like that it's probably not going to be in the MCU, so it gives us some free reign in the storytelling, just kind of refreshing. So I'm going to give it a shot. And you mentioned, okay, Harley Quinn, and then also you got Kite Man, and honestly, even Creature Commandos is like, it's not cutting edge.
We pointed that out too, right?
And Archer and all that stuff, but those are all great. And then we have something like What If, where it's fantastic art, but it's not that engaging. So I'd rather take the engaging.
Yeah, I mean, I love Archer.
Yeah.
The animation style is not one of the things I love about it. I just love it because it's so greatly written. And again, this might be the case with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man as well. Like, okay, I may not like the animation style. It looks incredibly budget. But that doesn't mean the show won't be good.
Right.
That just moved on to the second part, that I didn't find the trailer itself. Like, forget the style. I didn't really like the trailer itself. Again, for me, it just felt like, oh, this is a show that's targeted at children.
I would like more of the story. This is like one of those things where it's like, this is kind of silly and he's fighting some stupid kids in an alleyway. Give me the real story, and then it might become engaging.
Let's not forget it's a series too, so we might not get the full thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
so it might be a different problem every week, like the old Spider-Man.
That could be cool.
I mean, So we'll see. I actually am completely opposite of John. I actually think the animation style is really cool. I'm not exposed to it as much as you guys are because I didn't watch Archer. But so it's something new to me. It's a new take. The only thing that bothered me is it's hard to get used to the guy's voice. I do see Tom Holland as being every Spider-Man now. You know what I mean? Or like at least one of the big three: Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, or Toby. If it was one of those, so it'll give me time. But that's a nitpick. I don't, he sounded fine. I mean, well, we'll see.
I mean, he sounded like the 1960s kind of thing. By the way, Global in the live chat pointed out, he's basically saying, like, after Into the Spider-Verse, they should be ashamed of themselves for making this.
That's unfair.
Not really.
Yeah, so let me just say that, yeah, it is funny that when in the whole Sony Spider versus Marvel Spider thing, this is one thing that Sony kicks Marvel's ass in, is the animation in Spider-Verse stuff looks infinitely better. But those are also movies with movie budgets. Like, give it a break a little.
Years to me.
Even within the movie verse, that's like saying, oh, Timothée Chalamet, he did this huge Dune 2, and then he comes out and he plays Bob Dylan with hardly any special effects. He should be ashamed.
Yeah, we understand. Like, that's why Harley Quinn. That's why Creature Commandos. That's why Invincible. That's why these shows don't have top shelf animation. It's because, they're making a show. They're trying to keep, the budgets are more modest.
Yeah.
Than say like Spider-Verse movies. So, but yeah, anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think about the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man trailer? The opinions are probably as mixed as they are in this room. Like, we got somebody who really didn't like it. We got somebody who really liked it, and somebody who's kind of in the middle about it. How do you feel about it? I'm sure the opinions are going to be all over the place. What were your expectations? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.